Good morning, everyone. God bless you, and thank you for being with us today. Lao Tzu is a great master of Eastern mystical wisdom. I awakened very early this morning, about 3 a.m. Mountain Time, and I wrote for quite some time what he would like to share today. Lao Tzu teaches master teachers. He teaches the joy of learning through both the absorbent mind and the expressive heart, and the expressive mind and the absorbent heart. And when you look at these, you see the Tai Chi manifest through the in-breath and the out-breath of the mind and the heart in synchronistic absorption and expression. He says that there is an inner divine mechanism working within us that discerns wisdom. To know what is required and what is not, what is helpful and what is not, what is benevolent and what is not. He uses the example of the sunflower and the lotus to express nature's wisdom. In meditation, we absorb and we express through devotion. Absorption is the in-breath, and expression is the out-breath. There is an outer absorption and expression and an inner absorption and expression. The sun is the great teacher. And when during the day we expose ourselves to the sun's wisdom, we receive and we absorb from the sun the great teaching. During the night, we are exposed to the inner sun, the great helper, and receive great help from the inner sun. Both the great teacher and the great helper are essential for balance and harmony in our lives. Lao Tzu teaches how qi, energy, has an illuminative power within it that helps sustain life. However, he says that we should desire a wise life, not just life for life's sake alone. For a life to be rich in wisdom, one knows the why, the how, the when, the where, and the who behind the what. These are all leading us to the nature within what we observe. Much of Western learning centers on the mere ingestion of facts, about things, the what. In true learning, the inner nature is studied. And this has been going on in the East for centuries and millennia. We learn the nature of things through the divine processes of true education, which utilize the Socratic method. And Lao Tzu says that the Socratic method originated far earlier than Socrates in ancient mystery schools, including in ages past in China and India and Lemuria, where the teacher drew forth from the student that one's inner wisdom, found and discovered through intuition, through meditation, through absorption. He says that higher learning for today is all about solar knowing. Once the outer mechanics, the formulas, the tables, and the data are mastered, the inner keys to higher gnosis through union are discerned by personal experiential learning. The student applies the mechanics, the formulas, the tables, and the data in real life to learn the inner wisdom behind and within the outer forms, the systems, the designs, the architecture, and the mathematics. He says that in his retreat, an inner mathematics is taught based on sacred algebra, sacred geometry, sacred trigonometry, sacred calculus, differential equations, and all other aspects of higher math, and that these higher or sacred systems are learned within solar physics, solar chemistry, solar biology. These are the solar sciences that we are learning within ourselves as we go within, meditate, contemplate God and the divine, and learn directly from our source, the outer sun and the inner sun. He says that on earth, and most learning today, we learn geobiology, geochemistry, geophysics. The new physics, the new chemistry, the new biology is the solar biology, solar chemistry, solar physics. These solar sciences that are spoken of in the Heart Center and that are a part of our vision statement are the sciences of the New Age and of all true Golden Crystal Age civilizations, past, present in the heaven world, and future upon earth. These solar sciences have been lost due to ignorance and are being restored now as more awakened to their higher self and are illumined by the divine light. He says that in his retreat there is a triune wisdom adage. To learn is to discern. To know is to grow. To see is to be. So this triune wisdom adage again. To learn is to discern. To know is to grow. To see is to be. he says that we call the Ascended Master schools retreats. Why? Because we retreat from worldliness with all of its investment of our outer consciousness and things and situations and events to inner beingness. From the senselessness of focus upon the ego and the lesser self to a new sensitivity within the higher self, the divine ego. We retreat from ignorance to all-knowingness. And this is a retreat. It's a surrender or a retreat from the lesser to be the greater. A Buddha is one who is fully budding or expressive of his or her divinity, awakened, illumined, and now able, through and by that awakened and illumined state, to in turn awaken and illumine others. He says that teaching is often more about awakening as it is about illumining others. And a true teacher uses spiritual techniques to quicken and awaken his or her students who are asleep, not fully awake in their true selfhood, in their divine mind. Now, how does one awaken those who are asleep? Well, we can throw a cold bucket of water on them, very effective, and yet it's jarring. The better way is to gently coax that one to open his or her eyes gradually, focusing through those eyes to be able to see and experience a new world awareness through gentle stimulation, using the sun's dawn's rays, the dawn's solar rays, with their intelligence and wisdom. There are even alarm clocks that utilize gentle tones that gradually increase in their volume to awaken us without this jarring effect. Lao Tzu says that solar gazing is only the beginning of our true education of the spirit. When you gaze on something, you observe it. We move just from gazing to solar learning, solar development, to solar becoming, and ultimately solar union. So solar gazing is only the beginning. We move to solar learning, solar development, solar becoming, and ultimately solar union. Union with the sun. You know, in the East, Japan is called the land of the rising sun. And for those who have studied astrology, your rising sign is a key to your Christ consciousness, which Lao Tzu equates with solar consciousness. So when you know what your rising sign is, where the sun rose when you were born, the time of your birth, This can key you into certain aspects of what your mission is to be expressive of your Christ consciousness, your solar awareness. Through an understanding of what astrology says about the rising sign, you can discern keys to your mission to be an illuminator, an educator, one who conveys the principles of light, the ideations of the mind of God. Therefore, utilize this knowledge and this wisdom, ye who are teachers and conveyors of divine truth and holy wisdom. He says the Christ is one who is transfigured by merging him or herself with the sun to fully accept and then manifest this solar consciousness, solar awareness. The Christ is one who is transfigured, him or herself, by merging with the sun to fully accept the state of being of solar consciousness, solar awareness. He says that Jesus' time in the desert was one where he could fully absorb and assimilate this solar awareness. In the desert, there is an extra concentration of solar light and radiation because of the heat. And it takes resolve and the ability to be able to absorb and assimilate that Christic and solar light to weather the temperatures, the heat, the aridity, if that's a word, within the desert. True illumination occurs by solar guidance, guidance from the sun. As we desire to be fulfilled within and through the light of our solar presence. So true illumination occurs by and through solar guidance. From whom? Our own God Presence, Alpha and Omega, Helios and Vesta, the God and Goddess Meru, any ascended master who is manifesting the divine mind through that one's manifestation of solar consciousness, solar awareness, Christic consciousness and presence. So the solar sciences that we are utilizing within our Heart Center movement and that we are learning again because we knew them in the past, in past incarnations, are all about developing this solar consciousness and manifesting solar awareness. Remember that I shared quite some time ago that in the Keeper's Daily Prayer by Beloved Nada that we gave in doing the Long Rosary, it talks about God consciousness and solar awareness. God consciousness and solar awareness. There it was all along. We were imbibing that. And yet now we have a clearer and more rich understanding of what this is. Lao Tzu says that awareness is illumined consciousness. Consciousness itself is that which observes, that which is kind of in a quiescent state of this observation that is likened to awareness. An illumined awareness or illumined consciousness is a state of being awake. To be fully conscious is to be both awake and aware. You can be awake, and yet are you aware? Very similar words, one letter different. To be fully conscious is to be aware in a multi-sensory and multi-dimensional way, in a 360-degree objective and subjective awareness of life around us and within us. To be super conscious, he says, is to have solar awareness. To be super conscious is to have and manifest solar awareness. He encourages us to create our own affirmations for solar awareness. Create our own affirmations for solar awareness. And I wrote some that work for me, and you can write your own based on your own meditation. I will share what I wrote early this morning. I am experiencing solar awareness now. I'm experiencing solar awareness now. I am living in a state of divine love, emanating the joy of solar awareness 24/7. I am living in a state of divine love, emanating the joy of solar awareness 24/7. I am God knowingness as solar awareness, so I may illumine all in divine love's joy. I am God knowingness as solar awareness, so I may illumine all in divine love's joy. I am holy wisdom expressed through my solar awareness, day and night. I am holy wisdom expressed through my solar awareness, day and night. I am one with Alpha and Omega, and ingest their cosmic solar awareness as I breathe in and out each hour, moment. I am one with Alpha and Omega, and ingest their cosmic solar awareness as I breathe in and out each hour, each moment. I am the full flowering of my Christ consciousness with Lao Tzu, as he illumines me with his loving solar awareness. I am the full flowering of my Christ consciousness with Lao Tzu, as he illumines me with his loving solar awareness. I am the joy of self-discovery through the gifts of the Holy Spirit, as she teaches me the keys to solar awareness. I am the joy of self-discovery through the gifts of the Holy Spirit, as she teaches me the keys to solar awareness. I am the mastery of the solar sciences today, through the balance of Alpha's emanations and Omega's vibrations, to restore my harmonic state, the Tai Chi state of solar awareness. I am the mastery of the solar sciences today, through the balance of Alpha's emanations and Omega's vibrations, to restore my harmonic state, the Tai Chi state of solar awareness. I am the Dai Dao Ching realized through the silken radiation of my solar consciousness. I am the Dai Dao Ching realized through the silken radiation of my solar consciousness. And I like to say that I was surprised that I was inspired by him to write Dai Dao Ching, T-E-T-A-O-C-H-I-N-G, instead of Tao Te Ching. And I looked up and found something very interesting and mystical about Dai Dao Ching. and I'll let you research it yourself. I am the balanced realization of Li, Kun, Tui, Chen, Kan, Ken, Chen, and Sun, manifesting as my solar awareness of the ancient Chinese Eightfold Path. I am the balanced realization of Li, Kun, Tui, Chen, Kan, Ken, Chen, and Sun, manifesting as my solar awareness of the ancient Chinese Eightfold Path. If you look at the Tao Te Ching and the Bagua with its 8 symbols, you'll see why this was very important to bring forth. And you can, if you desire, superimpose the Eightfold Path of the Buddha over these 8 aspects. How and why? How? By adding all of those aspects of the Eightfold Path. Right knowledge, right understanding, right motive, right livelihood, etc. And maybe intuit where they would go in the Bhagavad. And by doing this, you will see how these align themselves with the wisdom of the Buddha, 2 different paths of the East, to form kind of a new Buddhic Tao Eightfold Path. This would be a great teaching for someone to discern and share with humanity. And maybe someone has already done it. Just as we have expressions both within the Hindu tradition and the Christianity's tradition that are very similar, we could probably find deep similarities between the Bhagavad and the qualities and the emanations of that Bhagavad, the wisdoms of it, and the Eightfold Path of the Buddha. Now, when I shared with my wife early this morning, Mona, that I'd received this beautiful teaching early this morning, she said that since she was 18 years old, she's memorized a beautiful Lao Tzu quote, number 47. There is no need to run outside for better seeing, and she had written seeming from a book that she had, the back cover of a book that she read when she was 18 years old. So it's either seeing or seeming or both, and you can see or seem what is best for you. So there is no need to run outside for better seeing or seeming, nor to peer from a window. Rather abide at the center of your being, for the more you leave it, the less you learn. Search your heart and see if he is wise who takes each turn. The way to do is to be. So this is Lao Tzu from The Way of Life, according to Lao Tzu, an American version, translated from the Chinese by Witter Binner. And you'll find this quote all over the internet. Most of them say seeing instead of seeming, and yet for Mona, the seeming was very important because it had a mystical element to it. Now, one of my favorite movies that I remember seeing years and years ago was Tony Randall and The 7 Faces of Dr. Lao, which came out in 1964. And I went on the internet, and you can watch a 3-minute trailer, and you can actually find it on YouTube in its entirety. So it's a very funny movie with a lot of wisdom. Merlin shows up, and all kinds of other interesting characters, all played by Tony Randall with great joy and fun. And he says, that he is 7,322 years old. So I thought that was pretty fun. So check it out. Have fun with Dr. Lao, Tony Randall, and with Lao Tzu, a great master teacher of master teachers. God bless you, and thank you, Kathleen. And I'll at Mount Shasta, I'll let you seal the service now. Have a great day. Bye-bye.